Victor Franklin?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Crystal Freeman, for $2,150. You say she owes you for unpaid rent, late fees, and a utility bill?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Tell me what happened, sir.
Judge Faith, we're here today because I rented an apartment to Crystal Freeman, who started off as a great person, and she moved out and left me with a sizable bill, which we're stuck with, but I'm stuck with today.
Okay, what kind of apartment complex is it? Do you own a building?
Yes, I own an apartment complex.
And where is this located?
It's in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
It's a 12-unit apartment building, all one-bedrooms.
Okay, and how did you meet the defendant and come to lease a place to her?
Back in April of 2013, I had an apartment for rent, and I put out an ad. She called, she came over, we did a pre-qualification over the phone. Everything checked out okay, seemed to be a great fit, hardworking, single person. So we arranged to start a lease. She moved in, and everything started off well.
Okay, do you have a copy of the lease?
Yes, I do.
May I see it, please? And how much did she agree to pay in rent every month?
$395.
So month and year that she moved in, please?
April 2013.
Wait a minute. Okay, this lease is completely blank. Nothing's filled in.
Yes, so I was looking for the actual signed version of the lease. I wasn't unable to find it, so this is the standard Missouri State lease that I use for
Okay,
all my rent.
no. Do you have the lease, the contractual agreement you entered into with the defendant?
I do not have a signed lease.
Do you have one?
No, I didn't sign anything.
Okay, so you're saying you never signed a lease?
No, I just moved in with my money was ready, and I just moved in the same day.
How long have you been a landlord, sir?
I've been a landlord for about 6 years.
It's interesting because she's saying she never signed a lease, and is it just a coincidence that you don't have one?
Yeah, it is a coincidence that I don't particularly have a lease in this situation. That is my standard lease that I have for all of my
Right, well, I don't need this. I'm gonna
Okay.
give this back to you.
Okay.
I know what lease agreements look like, so I don't need to know what your standard is. If you're suing for rent, you don't have anything in writing, so in my mind, I don't have a lease in front of me. It may not even exist.
Yeah, so I have
So-
I have receipts for the initial move-in that states that it's for first month and deposit.
So she moves in, and what happens?
So she moved in, and the first several months, things were going well. Kind of when I go through my initial screening, typically when a female moves in, single female moves in, kind of some of my key questions, okay, what's your relationship situation? Because typically there's gonna be a guy that follows.
Really?
Yeah, and the reason being, there's typically a guy that follows soon after.
Why is that your business?
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just, why is that your business?
Again, so I've typically done this for about 6 or 7 years, and typically that is where the issues typically come from.
Do you ask your male tenants if they have girlfriends or if they're dating someone?
I absolutely do. Because it's typically where I'm renting to one person, and then in a couple weeks, there's several people who are living there.
So you said that initially she paid rent, everything was fine.
Yeah.
What happened? Just give me the rest of the story.
So probably after about 4 months of being very consistent, she was late on 1 month. She didn't pay. Then it went for a second month, and she didn't pay. And then I get a call from a gentleman, and he says, hey, I'm going to pay the rent for Crystal this month.
Okay.
And I'm kind of taken aback. Okay, who are you? I don't know who you are. And he said, well, I'm going to take
Why
care
do you care? He's paying the rent. He's paying, like,
Right. Well,
I don't care it could be her dad, her uncle, whoever. Why does it matter as long as you're getting
Right.
the money?
Right, but it didn't come through her. So either way, it worked out. He paid the rent. She got back up. We were on good terms again. And probably another 2 months or so, it kind of dropped off again. And I think it came out, hey, well, I'm not working anymore.
What month and year is this?
This is now October of 2013.
So does she eventually pay what she owes?
No, we never got back on track after this point.
What month and year does she move out?
She moved out in March of 2014.
Okay, and you're saying that she didn't pay rent from what month to what month?
November, December, January, February, and March.
Okay. So you agree you were supposed to pay rent, and how much were you paying?
I know the rent was $395.
Okay.
But I paid him all last year. I didn't pay him, the beginning of this year.
January,
and February,
and March. Okay, why?
First of all, he was like a creep. He was all over my Facebook page, worried about what guys I'm talking to, asked me to lift up my shirt. And like,
So wait, did the two of you have a relationship beyond landlord tenant?
we didn't have like a relationship, but we had went on a date. And like, told him it's gonna be business or it's gonna be pleasure.
And what does that mean?
It's gonna be business or it's gonna
Well, you
I'm gonna
left
pay.
that
I'm gonna pay or I'm not. That's not
No, that's what I want to know. So you're saying that you told him you're going to pay or not because you guys are.
We didn't have sex and
You did?
Yeah.
The two of you had sex.
No, Judge.
Excuse me,
No.
ma'am. I'm not gonna lie.
So she's saying that the two of you went out to dinner. Is that true?
We met at the same place for
No,
drinks.
don't look down. Look
No,
at me.
No. Okay, so Judge, we met at a restaurant. We had dinner and drinks.
Why would you be taking your tenant to dinner and drinks? Someone that you rent to. Someone you say who is behind on their rent. Why are you taking them out to dinner and drinks?
Well, at the time, she wasn't behind, Judge.
Yes, I was.
She wasn't behind at the time, Judge.
Are you saying that you spent the night together that night?
No, we didn't spend a night together. It was a wham, bam, thank you. I'll see you the next day.
Okay, Judge. So that part is not true.
I'm not gonna lie, Judge. Sorry.
When you ask someone, do you have a boyfriend? Okay.
More to the story,
Are you
yeah.
in a relationship?
Okay.
And the next thing I know, you're taking her out to dinner and for drinks, and she's saying, I never signed a lease. I have a tendency to believe her because you don't have a copy. She's saying she didn't have to pay rent because you were looking the other way.
Well, I've got a ledger of the 5 months of consistent.
Don't care, sir. Don't care. I actually believe her. I believe that she said that the two of you had an intimate relationship. I believe that as well. I don't know if you're using your position as a landlord to try to get a date. I don't know what you're doing. But if you're going to wear the landlord-tenant hat and you think you're going to come into court and sue someone for not paying rent, then you need to take your job seriously and not mix business with pleasure. Because as of now, I don't believe you. So your case is dismissed. Judgment for the defendant.